Hey guys, what is up? It is your boy, dehBoy, back again with another Clash of Clans War video for you guys. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to tap into something that just recently changed, and they recently buffed balloons. As if balloons were not strong enough already, they decided that they needed to make them stronger by making that initial drop quicker. So I just want to do a video where I take two different attacks, one of the attacks is mine and one of the attacks is another member of our clan, and just compare and contrast the two different attacks and highlight the reasons why my attack, although it was not perfect, ended up getting the result that we wanted, which was a 3-star attack. So I'm going to jump right into it here. Map. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to scout this base. So when you take a look at this base, there's a number of things that jump out at me initially. One, I see these two ADs are like 2 levels deep. You know, this would be like level 1. You know, this is level 0. This is like the second level deep. And a queen, if she gets right here in the middle, if I can funnel a queen well, she can pop both of those. So already this is a good candidate for a Loon attack. Another thing I noticed is he's got huts in the corners, and just to make sure that I don't lose on time, I definitely want to bring some extra archers for that. I'm looking at the coverage here. Because these 5 defenses are so, like, well, just they're straight and they're really nice, a couple golems is going to get me the coverage and protection I need for a bunch of wizards. So I'm not going to need much to create that funnel. I mean, 5 or 6 wizards is going to get there for me, and my golems are going to be doing a lot. The Archer Queen's not going to get to the golem, at least I don't think. I don't remember in the replay. I don't think so, but then when I do get into that that next level, 1 poison spell is going to be able to weaken the queen as well as take down the clan castle. So I'm noticing a lot of things with that. Another type of attack that you could do with the way that the blowers are placed and the way the base is, HG, HB might not be a bad idea here. You could put your golem, or you put your giants right here and get them to come into here, and hopefully with you know, wizards here and here on these outskirts. I actually have my two. So like sorry, wizards here and here on the outskirts, right? Trying to create that funnel right here. Your golem, your giants might be able to walk right through here. The reason I ended up not doing that on this base is there was a lot of spots with like just potential for like giant bombs to be like randomly, you know, like this is probably a double giant bomb spot. This could be a double giant bomb spot. This could have 1 giant bomb, but I didn't really want to risk it, especially since it was so well set up for the attack. So the idea of my attack is coming in from this side, and then once we take down these 2 air defenses, we have to figure out which way are we coming with our wedge. So let's assume that this is gone, right? So again, just like any other attack, when you're doing these loon attacks, you're going to create this wedge. So all of that's going to be done. So now, which way do I want to come with my loons? I can either come this way and circle around the base like this, or I can come this way and circle around the base like this. Well, fortunately, this decision is already made for me because this air blower is blowing that way, so you definitely don't want to run loons into the air blower. Makes sense to come in this way. So we're going to go ahead and come around the base this way with our loons, and then whatever ground units we have, you know, we'll continue to push in the base. They might teeter off, but then we can have a couple archers helping clean up on the outsides, and that is the plan. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the attack that happened first, and I will admit, whenever you're the first person to attack base, you're not really sure where things are, so sometimes the results are never easy. You know, like something might happen that you're not aware of. But we're gonna jump into this replay here, and this is wheels, and just right off the bat I see a couple things with this army. You know, this is fine. The troops, the spells are fine. I end up having 1 heal, which I wanted to place on my initial, because when I do my Loons, I usually have the heal and the rage right here to plow through and really get that initial phase going before I come with my second phase Loon attack. I forgot in my attack, which is why I said my attack wasn't perfect, but at the same time, I really feel it adds that extra depth. But I'm just gonna keep stopping his attack as I'm finding things that I wouldn't have done or that probably didn't go as well as he would have hoped, and then kind of highlight that in my attack after. So I already see his army comp. Unless he's saving wizards for corners, he's got one archer. So one archer is fine if he's bringing like two golems. And so if he brings golem here and golem here, which is what I end up doing, if he brings that, all of these are distracted. So you could then theoretically drop that wizard right here, and then have him take out the corners, and then have him create that funnel, because these guys will come here, and then have a couple wizards like wizard, 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 wizard. So you have 7 wizards. You could even save one for cleanup. You know, that's going to really create that funnel then if you did that. But if you didn't do that, you definitely got to bring the archers. So like right off the bat, it's just a little... There's a little bit of a miss there because you're not bringing the right army comp for the base. Also, in Gola Loon, you want 3 hounds. The only reason you should ever bring 1 golem is if you're only going after 1 AD, and I've done that in the past. It helps. You know, some of the bases are set up that way. This base is not set up that way, and you absolutely need 2 golems here. This is a lot of DPS that's going to be coming out of that golem. You want 2 golems to make sure that you can get that initial push, and then you'll have three hounds coming in from the backside, and you'll be in good shape. So we're going to go ahead and start this. I want to point out a couple things right away. As we listen to the music. All right, here we go. So his initial drop, he drops his 1 golem, which is fine. So you've got all these things targeting the golem, except this archer tower. So I don't know if there was a way... If you would have dropped it in this slot right here, and this is something you got to check before you start your attack, is where am I dropping my golems to make sure they get full coverage. He's not getting full coverage. So now he's got 4 defenses attacking this golem. He's not getting full coverage, so he's going to start losing DPS right off the bat because he doesn't have that coverage. So he's going to lose some wizards to this archer tower. Also, he dropped his wizards starting here and then going this way. Well, what is that going to do? Well, this wizard, you got to think of pathing, is going to come here and then here. These wizards are going to see, oh, this building. These wizards are going to see this building. These wizards are going to see this building. You're not funneling towards the middle, right? There's no funnel here. What you're actually doing is you're funneling them around this way. And that's not good at all either, especially with, you know, this archer tower just picking shit off left and right. So just initially, just off the initial drop, there's a lot of things that are not going right already. So you can see the 1 wizard gets picked off. This wizard's going to get picked off. Here come these wizards, and they're going to start running over. And you can see more wizards are getting picked off. So now, before anything's happened, he had 7 wizards to begin with. He's only got 3 left. Now he's dropping his king and his queen. You missed it. His wall breakers were run right into a wizard tower, so he lost his wall breakers. So now he's got to hope that his king is going to go here instead of run around the base. It thankfully does, which allows him to get a little bit more out of this attack. But his golem is already 2 golemites by the time he gets inside that wall, which is not good. So he drops the jump down. At this point, you want to get that poison spell down. He does. Poison's not too bad. He pops his queen way prematurely, though. Queen could have gone a little bit longer, but you can see he's losing a lot already. And the way that he dropped this jump spell, he's opening up the wrong sections. So he opens up all of these sections right here with that 1 jump spell, which is fine, but you don't want to open up this section because you're going to funnel your troops in the wrong spot. You really, if you're going to jump this, you want to make sure that they go this way because you want to make sure you get that. Nope. So we continue on here, and the queen is alive. Now this is why you don't want to prematurely pop that ability because he almost loses the queen without getting the AD. Which again isn't bad because he's got 4 hounds, but you know, that's kind of the main part of the attack here is getting that AD. So he gets the AD. Now what does he do? He drops 2 hounds. And this is another thing that I want to highlight. So again, when you're doing these attacks, you're going to create that wedge. And he created the wedge. This is good. This is, you know, it was a rough going. But tell you what, he created this wedge. Now when you come into this wedge, this part is empty. Now, in order to get that 3-star, you need to pick a side to come in on with your air units, and you need to follow that wedge around. This is not following the wedge. This is cutting right into the middle of the wedge. Where are your troops going to go after this? Like you have to think about troop pathing. The troop pathing doesn't change. That the troops are going to go to the next. You know, the loons are going to go to the next lowest. What he needed to do is he needed to drop a lava hound right here to take aggro from this building, and this building. You could drop another lava hound right here. He's got extras, so he can drop like a 3rd one if he wants, like right here. And then, but he needs to drop that. He needs to drop the DPS support. He needs to drop those loons right after, and he doesn't. If we're gonna highlight this now too, because watch what happens to this hound. So he's got 2 here. He says he fat fingers these 2, which is fine, but the DPS is way too slow. Stop. So by the time he drops his first loons, by the time he finally drops a loon down, he's got just a sliver of life on this one hound. That's not good. You need those loons down ASAP. You need to drop a hound, get the DPS going behind. So now this DPS is really slow, which kind of forces him to use one of the... It forces him to use a couple spells. Now, with this big area, nice big area, I probably would have used one of the rage spells just to get it going. Like, these little spells are great for, like, chasing down the rest of the pack with a couple loons. But, again, because he didn't create any of the wedge, like, where are these loons going to go? Sure, they go to the middle, but now he's got stragglers. These ones are useless. These ones, thankfully, follow everything middle. He's got this coming along, which is fine. Hits a free spell, which it's an interesting thing. I actually like the free spell. Adds a little bit of extra defense. But at this point now, he's lost all of his hounds. I feel like... So this spell was probably wrong. He probably needed to put this one here because he wanted to cover more area over here, but it is what it is. He gets a nice little push off of that from here to here. But now his loons are taking the damage. So the thing about creating the wedge and going around, if he had fewer loons, they would have gotten picked off and he wouldn't have gotten these last defenses. And thankfully he had enough loons to get through those defenses, but they had to come all the way across the base, wasting valuable time to get those defenses. And now, because his hounds died so early, he doesn't have many pups because some of his pups were taken down. And here's a couple lone archer huts, or builder huts now, that are going to be left. That the loons are great for attacking defenses, but they're too slow to really gather those outside buildings. And so what you're going to see here now is that the attack just runs out of time because the loons are too slow. Luckily, he gets this kind of offshoot, but he just doesn't have that extra oomph to get through those last couple buildings. So I know it wasn't a bad attack. There were a lot of things that I didn't like, a lot of things that could have been tightened up, to offer you more leeway for, you know, where the Tesla's going to pop up. Are there going to be like double giant bombs that like kill my heroes or something unexpectedly? Like, you want to give yourself the optimum kind of troop dropping and the pathing to be able to get you that 3-star. So that was that attack. And we'll go to my attack. Alright, so number 2. So again, this is that same base. So the first thing I do is if you look at my army, I don't bring wall breakers. I bring in the jump spell because like I said, I want to open up. If I can put a jump here, I might not get into this section, but I don't care because my archer queen is going to be able to take out that, and the CC. And that's all I care about in my initial phase, because once that initial phase is down, my loons are gonna just run across this space like butter. Or hot knife through butter, that's the same, whatever. But so I brought the extra, I dropped one of my whiz, I have no wall breakers, and I brought a couple extra archers for these side buildings. So I start here because I know that the archers are going to walk a certain way, and they're going to help with the funneling, because I want to get that, unlike where the wizards for wheels went that way, I want to make sure all of my troops get to the frickin' middle, because I don't want to waste any of my DPS. My DPS is very valuable in the beginning. So now, once I drop those, I drop my 2 golems. And now notice the nice spread I have. All 5 of these are distracted. And then where am I dropping my wizards? I'm dropping them on the outside first, because I want them to take out the outside buildings, and then come to the middle. Now watch where all my wizards go. So I've lost 0 DPS so far. By the time I drop my hero, or my 2 royals, my heroes, and my spell, both of my golems still have half health. I've still got great coverage. All the attack and damage is going onto those tanks, and I have my DPS up. And here come the royals. Here come my heroes to help deal some more damage. And now that funnel is great. Now I'm going to drop that rage spell to continue buffing different things, like my king on that queen. I dropped the poison spell to continue on. You know, now that the DPS is starting to run outside, that's fine. I got them to funnel my heroes to the middle, which is what I wanted, and I have the rest of the attack going down for real. Pop my king. And now I know I don't have to pop my queen. This AD is down, so I'm going to start the next phase of my attack. I'm starting now. I'm not waiting. I'm starting now because these defenses are distracted, which means my hound is taking less damage. My loons that are going to come in behind are taking less damage. So once those 2 ADs are down, I'm keeping an eye on my hero's abilities, and I've already popped my king, so I know I don't have to worry about that. I'm keeping an eye on my queen's ability just by looking at her health, but I'm going on with the next phase of my attack. Now, I would have liked to have dropped my heal here. I forgot, but I did enough right for it to not matter. So as soon as I drop that down, I drop these 2 loons to start getting that DPS support, because I don't want to wait. I don't want to drop a loon or a lava hound there and a lava hound there, and then have to come back with these loons. Lava hound, open H. Lava. I don't want to wait for these loons to get going. If this guy is already taking damage, I want these loons coming and supporting that right away. I don't want there to be any waiting. So they're going to come in that way, and then I'm going to drop a hound here, and I'm going to drop more DPS over here to support that hound right away. I actually dropped that spell because I want these 2 loons to catch up, and I thought that was a good place for me to get those to catch up. I meant to drop these 2 on this cannon, but it's okay. I've got my raise spell down now. I noticed my queen was getting low, so I popped her, and I notice here that because of the Teslas, a lot of this is going to take a lot of damage. So I dropped my heal spell here, which ended up working pretty well. And then I clean up with my other 3 in the back. So as you can see, it's just, there's no backtracking here. I don't have any kind of backtracking to do. All of my loons are pushing together as a unit. I've got half a hound left. All my loons are, what if I lose, like 6 loons, maybe? And now it's cleanup mode. And also, once I played that last spell down and I played my last DPS, I don't need to watch the attack. I need to continue helping clean up. I had those 4 extra archers. I made sure all the huts were down. And this archer, which was over here the whole time, is over there. So I put these 3 archers here to help kind of clean up this side, and this archer taking out that final hut. And from there, it's just cleanup. So it's a difference of understanding troop logic, understanding the base, how units are going to move around the base, and looking for a base's weaknesses. Now, those 2 ADs were really easy to hit by the queen. This is a great attack for it, especially since those loons dropped that first bomb right away. I mean, it's so good. So hopefully you guys learned something there. Hopefully I wasn't just rambling on. Hopefully you can see the difference between the 2 attacks, see the difference between the 2 armies, the logic behind where I attacked, how I placed my troops, when I placed my troops, and how I finished off that base. So if you guys liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button. You can subscribe. I put a video out almost never, but If you want to know when the next one is, you can hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you later.